In today's tutorial, we're going to go through how to convert a 2D image into a anaglyphic 3D image in Nuke. Um, I already showed you how to do something similar in Shake, and I also put together something in After Effects, an After Effects rig. So I figured I should do something in Nuke to show you. So the first thing you want to do is launch Nuke. After Nuke has launched, there are a few things we need to do to get this script ready to work in a stereo pipeline. And really simple to do. In your DAG here, you can hit S to open up project settings. Alternatively, you can go up to File, or excuse me, Edit, Project Settings, and you'll get this up here. This project settings tab is a pretty nice thing to know about, and I will probably put together a little walkthrough telling you more about these things. Really quickly, I'd just like to show you this lookup table, which is pretty sweet. It shows you all the grades of different footage formats you'd likely be using. Anyway, the one we're most interested in is this Views tab right here. And you can see we have a main view set up right now. What we want to do is set up views for stereo. So click this button right here. You'll see you get a left and a right view. Also, toggle on this Use Colors in UI. What this will allow, and you notice that it already put the colors up here, it will show you which eye you're really looking at when you're down here in the working with the nodes, and just makes things a lot more legible. Up here you may have noticed that this left eye and right eye buttons showed up that weren't there when you're in a regular non-stereo mode. What this does is just allows you to easily click and look at isolated left or right views while you're working in your script. Right now I don't have anything loaded, so it really doesn't show you anything. So the first thing we're going to want to do after we've opened up Nuke and fixed it so it's in stereo mode is import the footage or clip or whatever photo you want to use with this. I chose just a simple skyline photo that I picked up off of Google for obvious reasons. Skyline, skyscraper shot like this is a very simple photo to convert to 3D. It has very well-defined shapes for simple roto, and it also has very well-defined layers of depth. So let's have at it. First thing you're going to want to do is just add a roto node off of this. And let's actually keep this over here. Keep things organized. Let's label this foreground buildings. RGBA output is fine, but let's knock these back so that we're only rotoing on the alpha. And let's go in here now. Grab your Bezier tool, which either click up here, click V while you're in the viewport, and go through and roto out all these foreground buildings. I'm gonna do this quickly. If I was actually working on a project, I'd probably spend a little more time at this. One thing I've also noticed is that instead of trying to go through here and duck in and out and get it all in one giant shape, it's best to just create individual shapes in the same roto node, so you don't worry about overlap. One of the problems I know I had when I first, oops, didn't close the chain. When I first learned this technique, was I thought it was just simple cards we were placing, and it didn't matter if things overlapped going back into space. But that isn't true. If you have major overlap in your roto shapes, when you add the anaglyph to it, it can really confuse nuke as to which depth you're really trying to have something at. So instead, just do individual buildings like that. Okay, so now that that one is done, we can go back and we'll add another one, and let's keep these guys separate. This one we'll call mid-ground. I'm gonna do it on the alpha as well. Oops, let's get a couple more viewports going on so we can jump in between these guys easier. I can't seem to find. There it is. All right. So now, same thing. Just go through and knock out all these middle guys. We can probably lump these two together. Probably lump. Oh no, we'll knock those into a different layer. Okay, so by now you probably get the point. You just want to go through and roto each one of these images separately, going back in space. So I would probably add another 2 or 3 roto points to this, but to save you the boredom, I'm just going to pause for a second and finish up these rotos. So here's a script that I was working on earlier. Actually, this is the final script if you end up downloading the project materials I have on the website. Although with such a simple script, there really isn't any need to do it. It's probably more beneficial if you start from scratch anyway. But what we have here are the buildings, and this is one where I did try to clump everything into one big roto, and as you'll notice in the final comp, it really can break down in some of these small areas like this. So not something I recommend doing, particularly in a production scenario. You know, if you're spending 15 minutes putting something together, though, go ahead and do it this way. So after you've gone through and gotten all of your roto figured out, the next thing you want to do is add a join views node to each one of these.